Let the record reflect we've reconvened with all members present. Council President Range and Councilwoman Honahan are absent excused tonight. For those who are able, please rise for Pledge of Allegiance. I ask you to remain standing after the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing. Those who come here often know we take time at the beginning of the meeting to remember those of our longtime Madison residents or Borough family who we lost recently. Janet Bruns passed away on September 13th after a short illness. Janet was predeceased by her loving husband, Theodore Ted Bruns, Jr., with whom she shared over 60 years of marriage. They raised 4 children, Sharon, Robin, Theodore III, and Jennifer. She also leaves behind 10 grandchildren and 6 great-grandchildren. Janet was born in Summit, graduated from Morristown High School in 1953 before attending Berkeley Secretarial School. She retired from Harding Township School and then went on to the Mendham Country Day School where she worked as a teacher's aide. But we know Janet for her work as a Madison crossing guard. She retired in that position on February 2024 after 18 years. And that's, think about it, that's a full generation of school children being crossed. She loved seeing all the children and families every day. Her late husband, Ted, was also a crossing guard, and it was an honor for me to join Janet on Walnut Street last Friday for her last day on the job. Students, parents, school officials, and Madison police were all there to thank her, and she did need a bit of help with all the flowers and gifts. And it was clear that she would have kept on working if her health allowed her to do so. And for those that met Janet and Ted certainly knew there was not a nicer couple around to know. She became an avid reader 4 years ago, read close to 200 books since then, loved knitting, crocheting, as well as strawberry milkshakes from Taylor's Ice Cream in Chester. I'll have to check that out. She was an active member of the First Presbyterian Church in New Vernon, where she served as deacon and elder for many years, also a member of Women's Auxiliary of New Vernon Volunteer Fire Department for over 50 years. She will be missed by all, especially the students that were crossed safely by Janet over the years. So let's take a moment to remember Janet Bruns and pass our thoughts on to the family, friends, and students that she leaves behind. Thank you. All right, can I have a motion for the executive minutes of August 12th and September 9th, 2024? All in favor?
Aye.
And a motion for the regular minutes of August 12th, 2024.
So moved.
Second.
Any corrections or changes?
Nope.
All in favor?
Aye.
And a motion for the regular minutes of September 9th, 2024.
So moved.
Second.
Corrections or changes? All in favor?
Aye.
Welcome all. I apologize for our late start. We had an extended executive session, went a little beyond 8 o'clock. And just in case he's watching from home, I want to wish Bruce Springsteen a happy birthday. Today is 75. And we have now passed the unofficial and official end of summer. The days are shorter, and it feels like there's a little bit more of darkness on the edge of town. I guess not enough Springsteen fans out there, sorry.
Oh, God.
I want to thank Council President Eric Range for covering the last meeting while I was working remotely, and it's good to be back, and hopefully I'm not too rusty, but it appears I might be already. And as a reminder, September has 5 Mondays, and the second Monday in October is a holiday, so we'll have an extra week and a half in between meetings. So our next meeting will be Wednesday, October 16th. Please mark your calendars on that. I could have my good friend Guillermo Gil please come forward. And we'll be calling a few more people up after we do this proclamation. This is a proclamation for Hispanic Heritage Month, which is not obviously celebrated across the country, but is a very special night or month for Madison when you think about our heritage here. Whereas in 1968, Hispanic Heritage Week was first celebrated, and in 1988, it was expanded to cover a 30-day period starting September 15th and ending on October 15th. And whereas Hispanic Heritage Month is an opportunity to honor the traditions and countless artistic, scientific, political, and cultural contributions of Madison residents who trace their roots to Spain, Mexico, Puerto Rico, and the Spanish-speaking nations of Central America and South America and the Caribbean. And whereas U.S. Census Bureau estimates Hispanic Americans comprise 19.5% of U.S. population and 22.7% of New Jersey's population and approximately 13% of Madison's population. And whereas Hispanic Americans have fought in every war since the Revolutionary War, and 60 Hispanic Americans have received the Congressional Medal of Honor, our nation's highest military award for valor in action against an enemy force. And whereas the national theme for this year's National Hispanic Heritage Month is Pioneers of Change, Shaping the Future Together, recognizes those of Hispanic descent who have been trailblazers paving the way for future generations. And whereas members of the Madison Hispanic population work in areas which provide essential services, including healthcare, retail stores, and restaurants, and whereas the same population contributes greatly to Madison by volunteering their time through churches and local philanthropic organizations. Now, therefore, I, Robert H. Conley, the mayor of the Borough of Madison, on behalf of the governing body, hereby proclaim September 15, 2024 through October 15, 2024 as Hispanic Heritage Month. We appreciate and honor the countless achievements of our Hispanic neighbors and continue our efforts to ensure that Madison is a welcoming and inclusive community.
Thank you, Mayor. On behalf of the entire Latino community of Madison, we want to express our immense gratitude to all members of the Council and Mayor for your continued support and willingness to work with our community. And thank you so much for welcoming us to Madison. And also, thank you for celebrating the Hispanic Heritage Month. So thank you so much, Mayor, and all you guys. And it's a surprise to me, like we are like 13% of the people who live in Madison are Latino. So this is a great number. So also, en el nombre, I want to speak in Spanish because we had the whole community, Father Johannader from the church. We just thank you so much. En nombre de toda la comunidad latina de Madison, queremos expresar nuestra inmensa gratitud a todos los miembros del Consejo y al alcalde por su continuo apoyo y disposición para trabajar con nuestra comunidad, y muchas gracias por darnos la bienvenida a Madison, y también gracias por celebrar el mes de la herencia hispana. Thank you so much. And when I say you before, you say, Mayor call us, we are Macedonians, porque estamos acá. Thank you so much, all the Colombian community, not only the Colombian, the whole Latino people who live from Puerto Rico, we say before, Guatemala and Ecuador, Bolivia, Paraguay, Mexico, and Salvador. And thank you, all of you guys, for celebrate our month. Thank you.
And before I let you go, I'd like to invite all those that came out to witness the presentation of this proclamation, come on up so we can get a nice picture of all you together. You've been taking pictures, and now we're going to take your picture. Come on. Yep. The Faces of Madison. Here we are. Councilman Forte, please come and join me. We also have a proclamation for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And this is a proclamation that touches so many of us. As I share each year, it was almost 50 years ago that my mother was diagnosed with breast cancer in a far different time as far as where medical and diagnostics are now. She died within 5 years from liver cancer, which started with breast cancer. So this is, touches, as I said, touches all of us and the importance of breast cancer awareness. Whereas the Borough of Madison values health of all of its citizens, and whereas estimated 310,000 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer this year, and 1 in 8 in America will be diagnosed with breast cancer during a lifetime. And whereas breast cancer is the second most common cancer diagnosed in women, also ranked second as a cause for cancer death in women. And whereas there is many health disparities among underserved communities by income, geography, insurance, race, ethnicity, age, and gender who are disproportionately affected by this disease. And whereas certain factors put some women at higher risk than others, including age, personal or family history of breast cancer, specific genetic mutations, and dense breast tissue. And whereas with routine mammogram screening and follow-up testing, breast cancer can be detected early when it can be more effectively treated. And whereas there are more than 4 million breast cancer survivors in the United States, including women still being treated. Now, therefore, I, Robert H. Connolly, the Mayor of Borough of Madison, on behalf of the governing body, hereby proclaim October 2024 as Breast Cancer Awareness Month in recognition of support of the patients, families, and professionals leading the fight against breast cancer, and reaffirm our commitment to commit breast cancer research and to educating all citizens about risk factors, detection, and treatment.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you. I know breast cancer touched your family in a very deep way, and I'm up here tonight because it did to mine as well. My wife lost her mother breast cancer 37 years ago, actually this week on the 21st of September. I know firsthand how that impacts a family. That profound loss is pretty deep and severe, and it's really important that women get screened. The screening really makes a difference. My mother-in-law fought hard for multiple years and lost that battle. So hopefully this awareness helps save lives, and it's really meaningful that Madison does this. Thank you, Mayor.
All right, we now move on to reports from committees. We'll start with Councilwoman Ehrlich. We'll cover finance and public safety, if you have that one.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll start with public safety on behalf of Council President Range. The fire department report. Let's see. The fire department has been busy training with its medical director to make sure the firefighters and EMTs are up to date with New Jersey Department of Health standards. Last week, they all attended a stroke awareness class with the medical director. And the good news is that the medical director has been very pleased with the EMS operation out of our fire department and has cleared the Madison Fire Department EMS division to expand its scope of practice. We've applied with the state to be able to administer albuterol, CPAP, and PEEP, which are medications and therapeutics to help patients breathe in open airways. There will also be a change to let EMTs use glucometers to help recognize diabetic emergencies. All of these changes mean even better care for our residents, and I want to commend the fire department and our EMS division for their consistent level of care that's allowed them to provide more types of care to our residents. In October, members of the fire department will be going to the Fire Academy to attend flashover training with the Cedar Knolls Fire Department. This training is to help firefighters become aware when flashover conditions are present and how to avoid and escape from it. And lastly, the Fire Prevention Bureau would like to remind everyone that October is Fire Prevention Month. The Bureau and the department will be visiting all the Borough elementary schools to talk about fire safety. The Madison Police Department reports that during the week of September 16th, 2 new per diem public safety telecommunicators started with our agency. These 2 dispatchers are currently in the field training program, which should last approximately 2 months. We welcome Thomas and Melissa to the MPD ranks. Bottle Hill Day planning is well on the way to prepare for our event on October 5th. We look forward to welcoming all residents, vendors, and visitors to Madison, where we will ensure that safety is a top priority as it is every year. Madison Police Department will also be present at a table to meet with visitors, to present different types of programs that MPD offers, and to answer any questions concerning public safety and community policing. That is all for public safety tonight. Okay, on to the finance report. The tax collector reminds us that the senior freeze PTR application deadline application is November 1st. Any seniors who have not done so should bring their forms into the tax office by October 31st. Please contact the tax collector's office if you have any questions. The finance department reports that on Friday, September 16th, the borough wired $4,067,724.67 to the Board of Education. This is the monthly amount that is required to cover their operations and debt. And budget season is here. It's hard to believe that budget season has arrived. This week, administration has been meeting with the various department heads to review their operating budgets. This is an important first step in building the municipal budget. Department heads have been asked to keep their budgets flat for 2025. In addition to the operating budget, administration is working with department heads on the 5-year capital plan. Administration has sent over a draft 5-year capital plan to each department head. These documents will be discussed in the coming weeks, and we hope to have a 5-year capital plan presentation before the end of the year. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Public Works and Engineering, Mr. Landrigan.
Thank you, Mayor. From the Department of Public Works, with leaf collection season coming, residents are reminded that yard waste can still be placed at the curb in bags and containers on their designated pickup day. Regular curbside waste collection continues throughout the borough until December 4th. Free leaf bags are available at the DPW garage on John Avenue. Logs and branches cannot just be left at the curb. They need to be tied in bundles no more than 4 feet long, bagged or placed in containers. And finally, the Parks Department is continuing to work on recreation fields so that all fall sports teams have a place to play. Okay, and now this is from the Madison Environmental Commission. The MEC reports its Echo Garden Tour was a hit with some 190 tickets sold. Toad Shade Wildfire Farm sold many native plants. Garden designers Carol Lee Brown and Blanca White had a table, and it had great interest, as did Blue Sky Green Earth Farming or Electric Landscaping, which is now doing quiet lawn care in Madison. They are thrilled to report that the Garden Club explained rain gardens and invasive plants at the Gibbons Pine Park, where invasive Japanese Burberry bushes have been removed. NBC members opened their yards. Brian Monahan advised on organic lawn care. Kate Dunnigan showed a new shrink lawn projects. Bridget Daly and others hosted tours, including signage showing the number of caterpillars and moths each native plant supports. The tour aims to marry beauty and biodiversity. We are proud to nature with Nature of Reading Bookshop, which did a pop-up booth and sold out Nature's Best Hope by Doug Talmy. Its book was started the MEC on its path in 2019. We urge everyone to read it or watch Talmy's Zoom link on Rosenet. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Utilities, Mr. Halamputis.
Thank you, Mayor. Welcome everybody from the community. From the electric utility, we want to give many thanks to the staff of the Madison Electric Utility for their creativity and hard work to expedite this Cook Avenue parking lot project. Timing is crucial to have it finished by the time the holidays are here, even for Bottle Hill Day. As the fall approaches and the daylight shortens, the staff in the borough has installed temporary lighting from the electric utility to make the lot safer for customers and residents. And our goal is to have the full parking lot available for Bottle Hill Day, with the paving and striping to take place thereafter. Meter replacement continues in the borough, and Meter Tech company that we have contracted with has already replaced 1,000 meters. Still a few more to go. From the water department, they have also helped out with the Cook Avenue project by expediting the repair of a water main break in the lot on September 11th. While they were on site replacing that water main break, they took advantage of the opportunity to change one more curb box for butter and jam, and now they have all the services to the buildings complete. They also installed a new hydrant behind the pet shop, which was planned as part of the project. The Well B, which anybody who's been coming to the meetings has been hearing about now for a long time, the project has been completed successfully, and the well is pumping up to 1,200 gallons per minute, which is that efficiency we were striving to achieve. So now the borough has 5 wells, and we will be able to satisfy the needs of the residents' water with all the 5 wells working properly. And that's all for the water and electric utility. And I'm going to report for Councilwoman Honohan on the Downtown Development Commission with the help of the Director of Business Development, Lisa Ellis. The Bottle Hill Day, like Congresswoman Ehrlich just said, is approaching. It's going to be on October 5th, Saturday. Hopefully a beautiful day, 2 weeks from now. Information regarding vendor applications and event sponsorship is posted on Roseneck. There's still room for vendors to register and get a spot. Please send in your applications as soon as you can. The Madison Farm and Artisan Market is open for business every Saturday. It's going to run through December 14th. It is in the Prospect Street parking lot adjacent to the Ambulance Corps building. There's great new vendors, returning vendors. There's music there every Saturday and a nice sense of community. You'll see a lot of your neighbors out there shopping and just catching up with what's going on in town. I've been there a few times. I thought it was a great experience, and I did some shopping, of course. The next regular meeting of the DDC, the Downtown Development Commission, will be held on October 17th at 7:15 in the second floor committee room of this building. The public is invited to attend. The Chamber of Commerce. New Jersey Economic Development Authority support and resources for small businesses. It's a free seminar that's open to all. It's going to be held on Wednesday, October 2nd at 8 a.m. at the Madison Community Arts Center on Kings Road. The NJEDA, that's the acronym, team will share products designed to support small businesses. Please pre-register online. The Madison Area Chamber of Commerce and the Madison PBA 92 are hosting the 29th Annual Madison Car Show, also on Bottle Hill Day, October 5th. This event will be held in the Prospect Street parking lot next to the Ambulance Corps building, so there will not be a farmer's market that day. Right, Ray?
Correct.
Okay. You don't want to go there with your bag ready to buy some fruits and vegetables and you end up buying a car. The show will take place, it's sponsored by, I missed that. Did I say that? PBA, yeah, it's sponsored by the PBA and the Chamber of Commerce. It's always a good turnout, a very fun event to attend. The Madison Area Chamber of Commerce 2024 Halloween Parade and Magic Show is scheduled for Saturday, October 26th from 12:30 to 3 p.m. downtown. Children, their parents, and guardians are invited to attend. There's a Halloween costume parade, followed by a magic show, and then after the magic show, we'll be trick-or-treating around downtown in the business areas. We will not allow trick-or-treating to start before the end of the magic show, just to keep some control. It's a really fun event. Kids love it, and the merchants love it also. The Chamber and the DDC are presenting a new event called the Rose City Dog Day and Parade this fall. It will be held on Saturday, November 2nd, from 11 a.m. until 2 p.m. Please contact Karen at the Madison Chamber. Her email is madisonchamber@gmail.com or Lisa Ellis at ddc@rosenet.org for more information regarding sponsorships or to find out more about the event. The Madison Community Arts Center on Kings Road. 30 paintings by Madison resident Nino Ceratelli are being shown at the center now through September 29th. The gallery hours are posted on the Madison Community Arts Center website, and the paintings can be viewed informally before and after the center's events. On Saturday, September 29th, from 1 to 5 p.m., nationally celebrated Shakespearean actor Randall Duke Kim and his wife Annie Occhiogrosso will continue working with a company of professional actors on a project called Discovering Lear, which will be a working through of the play King Lear from an actor's standpoint. Shakespearean scholar and FDU professor emeritus Harry Keishian and Ellen Barry, the former managing director of the Shakespeare Theater of New Jersey, will assist them. The event is free of charge and will continue on further dates as determined. So that's Saturday, September 29th from 1 to 5. The monthly literary open mic sponsored by Arts by the People will take place on Wednesday, October 2nd. The music open mic continues on October 9th and the comedy open mic on October 16th. Very fun events to attend. We have some talented people in the borough who want to stand up and perform in front of the residents. And last, the Rose City Buds Comedy Show, featuring up-and-coming New Jersey comedians and pop-up shops, will take place on Friday, October 4th. Doors open 7 p.m. and the show starts at 8 p.m. One more thing. On Sunday, October 6th at 3 p.m., the New Jersey Jazz Society will present the documentary film Jimmy Van Housen, Swinging with Frank and Bing. The showing will be accompanied with live music. Events for the entire year can be viewed on the MCAC landing page at madisonartsnj.org/MCMC. You never have to leave the borough to find entertainment. It's amazing. This place is great. That's all.
Thank you very much, and thank you. I forgot to mention you were going to do community affairs, so thank you for covering. And health, Mr. Forte.
Thank you, Mayor. From the Health Department. The Health Department will be hosting a diabetes self-management program beginning on Thursdays from September 26th through October 31st from 1 to 3:30 p.m. at Sage Elder Care, 290 Broad Street in Summit. This program is a 6-session, 2.5-hour workshop designed for people with diabetes. During the course, participants will learn practical ways to deal with stress and fatigue, discover better nutrition and exercise choices, understand new treatment choices, and learn better ways to talk with their doctor and family about their health. The interactive curriculum will address topics such as managing symptoms, problem solving, action planning, monitoring blood sugars and preventing complications, handling stress and difficult emotions, making a plan for healthy eating and safe exercise, communication, better sleep, and relaxation. Interested residents should contact Amy Lewis at 908-789-4070, extension 4080. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Now move on to communication and petitions.
Yes, Mayor. Mayor and Council received an email dated September the 12th from resident Molly Polroy of Fairwood Avenue, thanking the Mayor and Council for the continued efforts to save the Drew Forest, and that was the only one received.
Thank you very much. We now move on to our first of 2 invitations for public comment. This one is limited to resolutions. You may comment on the resolutions, which I'm about to read, and as also normally you can comment on our agenda discussions, but there are none today. If you want to comment on other topics, that will be coming up shortly later in the meeting after our ordinances for hearing. These are the resolutions that you may comment on, and this will be also part of the consent agenda towards the end of the meeting. Resolution 263, appointing Jane Bennett to the position of substitute crossing guard at current pay rate of $21.45 an hour. Resolution 264, approving issuance of plenary retail consumption license, theater exemption for the Shakespeare Theater of New Jersey. Resolution 265, approving the 5K Run Fun Walk in Madison for Saturday, November 2nd, 2024, sponsored by Tori J. Sabatini, and this is very important for those who are born to run. Resolution 266, resolution approving special event permit for Cars and Coffee Showcase to be held on Kings Road, Sunday, October 29th. This is between 6:30 a.m. and 3 p.m. Resolution 267 is permitting restaurant, bars, and taverns to remain open until 2 a.m. on Thursday, November 28th. This is consistent with weekend hours, and this is actually for Wednesday night, but it's as the actual time will be Thursday. Resolution 268, accepting the retirement of Director of Public Works Ken O'Brien, effective November 1st, 2024. And if you happen to see Ken around town, please thank him for his dedicated service to the Borough of Madison over the years. He's done a great job with his leadership. Resolution 269 is approving licenses for the Madison Athletic Foundation for March 18th, 2025. Resolution 270 is awarding an agreement to Hunter Technologies for purchase, installation, and maintenance of phone system through New Jersey state contract. And this is $160,000 over a 5-year period. Resolution 271 is officially authorizing Madison to be officially included in the federal Highlands boundary. This will allow us to apply for funding for such things as the Drew Forest. Resolution 272 is permitting Madison Little League to build a grandstand, press box, and backstop at Sunny Vital Field. And we'll give a little background on this during the consent agenda. This is on the Little League Field on Rosedale Avenue. Resolution 273 is appointing Deborah Garbiel to the position of Municipal Registrar in the Health Department, an annual salary of $65,000. There is a vacancy there. Resolution 274 is appointing part-time per diem emergency medical technicians to the Fire Department. This is for George Houston, Jason and Zelmo, Christine Perez, and Juliana Dodlin at $30 an hour without benefits. Resolution 275 is approving raffle license for Hickory Tree Chorus for November 16th. Resolution 276 is appointing John Wittenberg to the position of probationary firefighter, and this will be at salary consistent with the FMBA Association Local 74 contract. You may comment on any of those resolutions. If you want to comment on any of those resolutions, step forward, state your name, address, and the resolution number you want to comment on, or the resolution, you don't have to give the number, but just the resolution you want to comment on. Try to keep your comments to 3 minutes if possible. I'll give you a 1-minute grace and cut you off at 4. Welcome.
Hi, Kirsten Wallenstein, 4 Westerly Avenue in Madison. I am coming to speak on behalf of Friends of the Drew Forest, and we, the Friends of the Drew Forest, applaud the borough and thank the borough for the initiative to seek the federal designation of Madison as part of the expanded opportunity area for the Highlands. We are only one town away from being included in the state-designated Highlands region, and thus have not been able to take advantage of this really important program that helps conserve land and natural resources, drinking water, and things that we all rely on. So as stated in tonight's Resolution 271, this federal designation would allow the borough to apply for funding for property acquisition through the multi-state Highlands Conservation Act grant program without being part of the New Jersey Highlands region that's regulated by the Highlands Water Protection and Planning Act. In looking at the past history, grants have been awarded in New Jersey for as much as $4.6 million and some for less. The total has been over $17 million since 2007, when the program started. Notably, New Jersey submitted no applications in 2020, 2021, or 2022, whereas other states, New York, Pennsylvania, Connecticut, have received funding for every year since the grant program was introduced in 2007. So we think this would be a great funding source, and we strongly support the Borough Council and encourage them to vote yes, and as always, thank everyone.
Anyone else wishing to comment on any of the resolutions, please step forward. Seeing none, I close this part of the meeting. And we move on to ordinances or hearing. Will the clerk please read the statement?
Okay, the ordinances scheduled for hearing were introduced by title and passed on a first reading at the regular meeting of the council held on September the 9th, 2024. They were posted and filed according to law, and copies were made available to the general public requesting same.
I call up ordinances for second reading. Ask the clerk to read said ordinance by title. Ordinance 28-2024.
Ordinance of the Borough of Madison appropriating $60,000 from the General Capital Improvement Fund for the purchase of a new Jeep vehicle and accessories.
I'll open the hearing on ordinance 28. Anyone wishing to comment on this ordinance, please step forward. Seeing none, I close the hearing.
Mayor, I move ordinance 28-2024.
Second.
Any council discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Ms. Ehrlich? Yes. Mr. Landrigan?
Yes.
Mr. Harlan-Pudis?
Yes.
Mr. Forte?
Yes.
I declare ordinance 28-2024 adopted and finally passed, and ask the clerk to publish notice thereof in the newspaper and file the ordinance in accordance with the law. Ordinance 29-2024.
Ordinance of the Borough of Madison appropriating $3,820 from the Municipal Open Space Recreation and Historic Preservation Trust Fund for repairs to the Museum of Early Trades and Crafts clock.
I open hearing on ordinance 29. Anyone wishing to comment, please step forward. Seeing none, I close the hearing.
Mayor, I move ordinance 29, 2024 for a
Second.
vote.
Council discussion. For the public's knowledge, this is part of a matching grant which will allow the museum to go to substantial more funding to support the repairs. Roll call vote, please.
Ms. Ehrlich?
Yes.
Mr. Landrigan?
Yes.
Mr. Harlan-Pudis?
Yes.
Mr. Forte?
Yes.
I declare ordinance 29-2024 adopted and finally passed, and ask the clerk to publish notice thereof in the newspaper and file the ordinance in accordance with the law. Ordinance 30-2024.
Ordinance of the Borough of Madison appropriating $1,400,000 from the General Capital Improvement Fund for the purchase of a new one-cyclone compressed air foam system fire engine.
I open the hearing on ordinance 30. Anyone wishing to comment, please step forward. Seeing none, I close the hearing.
Mayor, I move ordinance 30-2024.
Second.
Council discussion. Tom?
So we're gonna have a state-of-the-art fire truck, foam, that blaster like a Ghostbuster fire truck. Okay.
This is part of our capital budget plan.
And we're not expected to get it for a few years, right, Mayor? We discussed that at the last one. Good planning, thank you.
Rachel?
This is a somewhat technical question that I don't know if anyone here can answer, but I know in the past we've confirmed with our fire department that we do not use any foam chemicals for fire suppression that contain PFAS chemicals, and I am assuming that that will extend to this new truck as well.
That product will not be included in the foam with this truck.
Great, thanks for confirming.
Any other comments? Roll call vote, please.
Ms. Ehrlich?
Yes.
Mr. Landrigan?
Yes.
Mr. Harlan-Pudis?
Yes.
Mr. Forte?
Yes.
I declare ordinance 30-2024 adopted and finally passed, and ask the clerk to publish notice thereof in the newspaper and file the ordinance in accordance with the law. We'll now move on to our second of public comment periods. This is when you may comment on any topic. When you come up to the lectern, please state your name and address, write the same on the clipboard. Try to keep your comments to 3 minutes, but we will give you a 1 minute grace and ask you to stop at 4 minutes. Welcome.
Hi, Rich Bacone, 82 North Street. A lot of us residents are here tonight asking for help regarding sewage backing up into our homes on North Street, and to make sure that you are all aware of this problem if you aren't already. I know the storm on August 18th was a bad one for the entire town, but the results of that storm are not uncommon for us. Whenever we get a lot of rain in a short amount of time, my understanding is the pumping station on North Street gets overwhelmed and can't keep up. Some of the things I have heard since I've moved to North Street 8 years ago, and that hopefully you guys can clarify for us. The pumping station is sufficient. However, residents illegal tying their sump pump discharge into the sewer lines, and at one is causing the issue. At one point, from what I've heard, I do not know this for a fact, Madison had an amnesty program where residents would not be fined as long as they corrected the problem and discharged the sump pump water outside the home. If that is true, maybe we can try it again and somehow require proof of showing that there is an outside discharge. I've also heard that on North Street there are 2 sewer lines. A 12-inch that runs to Burnett Road, pumps up to Fairview, downhill into Chatham. The second is a 6-inch line that pumps up to Park Avenue and runs down to Main Street into Chatham. I'm just asking for clarification. I don't expect it to be tonight. I also heard that the town had an opportunity to fix that 6-inch line and make it 12-inch when they were doing work on the Park Avenue line. I do not know when this was, but what I heard was that the town opted not to do it due to cost. I understand that the generator pump at the pump station failed on August 18th. It happens at my job all the time. Could you tell us the cause, and has this been addressed? A bunch of us have had to take measures like installing check valves. Mine was $1,900. That aren't perfect, they don't always work. And honestly, I feel like it's a town issue that should reimburse us for costs like that. Not to mention the cost of replacing flooring, molding in our homes as a result of the sewage backup. It's 2024. I feel like if it was your neighborhood, you'd not accept sewage backing up into your homes. I know we have a bunch of people here to speak on the issue. A lot of us have videos of the day of August 18th. I'd be happy to email those to you, as well as a list of the questions that I have, and hopefully get some answers at some point. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Rich. And as you mentioned, there may be others commenting, so we'll hold on any comments on this until everyone's commented. Well, welcome, Sal. See you.
How is everybody? It's been a long time.
Yeah. Good.
I own 80 North Street. I actually happen to be
State your name and address.
Salvatore Piccolo, 80 North Street, and obviously Madison. Rich's neighbor, along with many other neighbors that are here this evening. I've owned the home for 15 plus years. I unfortunately have experienced what Rich just explained to you for 15 plus years. I've gone through the trouble of putting in the check valve myself back in 2020. Up until then, it was just running around the house every time there was a storm with a pit in my belly, making sure all the drains that I had put check valves on, had paid plumbers to put check valves on, were also functioning properly. It becomes a very scary thing every time I come down North Street during any storm and you see the water just lifting the manhole drains up. I've called the town many times. I've had the opportunity to speak to many town employees, and they are very helpful, but there's only so much they can do. I've reached out to other neighbors on the street, and they all seem to be experiencing the same problems. I didn't just think it was myself. It becomes gross. It's very gross when the sewer line's backing up into your house and there's all kinds of stuff floating around that shouldn't be floating around. Again, I want to stress this isn't regular rainwater coming up through your foundation. because of pressure that builds up through your basement floor. This is actual sewer water that starts coming up through your sinks, your toilets, and showers that are situated at the basement level. It becomes very disturbing and very unhealthy. And I just wanted to make you guys aware of that. Hopefully we can get something resolved for the entire neighborhood. I thank you guys for listening to me tonight.
Thank you, Sal. Anyone else wishing to comment, please step forward.
Council members, I was actually born and raised. Oh, Teresa
Name and
Nigro.
address, yep.
Well, I have several addresses on North Street, but I will start with the one I'm currently living in, which I own, renovated and bought, 49 North Street, Teresa Nigro. But I was born and raised on North Street, the brick building, which it was Rocco Ios's building, God rest his soul. Then I moved to 12, then 10, and then I saved my money, bought and renovated 49. And like my neighbors behind me, this is not new. I'm not going to tell you my age, but ever since I've been on that street, which is my whole life, this has happened more than once. On August 18th at approximately 7:40 p.m., I had to make a decision between taking care of my basement and going up the street to take care of my father, Rocco Nigro, and my elderly diabetic mother. I took pictures, and it is indeed sewage water. And it's distressing because, as you know, anyone that has diabetes, you were talking about clinics and things, that is a health hazard. North Street is a very tight street. Many of us know each other since childhood. I love that street. I love Madison, and I want to come to some kind of solution with this because there are many elderly people on that street that we look out for each other. So when the power went out, anybody that had a sump pump, you were opening your windows, buckets, and throwing it out. Many residents do have precautions in place. We've spent the money. So now we need to come to you and say, we're doing our part, but I'm extremely concerned about the residents on that street that are elderly and can't take care of themselves, and now we're trying to help them, and we're caught between our own property and then our families, which I will tell you is no longer happening in Madison, where you have the children of people that have come here being able to purchase homes in Madison. So for me, that's my heart. So I'm hoping that you hear all of us here. We are in North Street. We're asking for your help because this has been happening for over 40 years in some cases where there's sewage backup. I'm not saying this situation, but North Street needs to be, it's like a little jewel of Madison. So we would appreciate your help in this.
Thank you, Teresa. Anyone else wishing to comment, please step forward. Welcome, Joe.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Joe Palel. I reside at 17, but I'm the president of the North Star Club on North Street. And I feel the same way as these people. The last storm, we had raw storage come into our basement. Luckily, we don't have furniture like these people have. We have just the tables and chairs. But we had to get ServPro, and it cost us over $6,000 to remediate the situation. So I'm here just to hope that you guys can help resolve the matter and take a step further to resolve it. Because we don't know where to go. We go down to the borough, they're going to probably bounce it back up to you people, I would imagine. I don't know. But we appreciate all your help. If you can give us some assistance down there. I'll sign my name now. Thank you.
Anyone else wishing to comment, please step forward as Joe signs in.
Want me to put the North Star's address or my address?
Your address.
Oh.
Practically live at both places, I know.
Thank you again.
My name is Stephen Miller. I live at 100 North Street, and I live in a house that was built by my wife's parents back in 1955. And they've been dealing with that problem since 1955. And it's a lot of anxiety every time you get a weather forecast for heavy rain or thunderstorms, because you have to be home to deal with something, and it's very unpleasant. And I just hope you'll be able to find a way to help us out.
Anyone else wishing to comment, please step forward.
Hi, everyone. I'm Valerie Triano. I live at 104 North Street. Steve's neighbor, right across from the North Star Club. So North Street is near and dear to my heart as well. Sorry, I'm losing my voice. My grandpa built the house, and I've lived there and owned the home for over 20-something years. So I'm lucky enough that my husband's a plumber. And he's able to fix things and attend to them and know what to do in these situations. But as everyone else, we, shouldn't have to live like that on our street. So we are asking for help, and we appreciate it, especially with the past storm. That was rough. Thank you.
Anyone else wishing to comment, please step forward.
Yes, my name is Teresa Nigro. I came in this country March the 8th, 1969. I came on the street, and I hope they're going to bury me on the street. The best street in Madison. And I know a lot of experience. I'm a bricklayer, full-time bricklayer, 55 years of service. And I know when the water cried through the basement, the old house, come out of the floor, I know. I saw a lot of them. I do a lot of reparation. I get a lot of waterproof job. But this caused 3 times in my house in 9 months. The first one was December 18, 23. And one of the men from the town, I called, they come down. Oh yeah, too much rain, like I was stupid, like I don't understand. Oh yeah, okay, what do you want me to do? I pray, my God. Okay, no, it's the 18, the August, again, it's 3 times now. And I know exactly where the water coming from. You know, the juggler on the circle, they play the ball like this, came out of my bedroom, just like that. And I'm lucky because I got a pump all over my yard. I collect rainwater for my garden. I got a buckets of the pail all over the ground. And I got a lot of pump, maybe 6, 7 pump. And I had to put 2 pump in to try through the window to pump the water. So that's make you understand. I understand where the water come from. That's the sewer. That's the sewer. If something can be done, I got a second wife. And pretty sure I'm, my age. I be able to go to sleep at night. That's it. I live that way, 10 North Street.
Thank you very much. Anyone else wishing to be heard, please step forward. I think
Hello, Mayor Conley. Hello, everyone. I'm his son, Antonio Nagro, 10 North Street. I live on the ground level, so not good. Had to get in a hotel one time. Then I ended up staying upstairs at my parents'. And it just causes a lot of turmoil when this happens. It's happened more than once. Like my father said, it's 3 times. It's happened in the past too. But it's at the point now where it's causing so many problems between me and my wife, me and my mother, my father. Can't take it anymore. We need to do something about this. There's no reason North Street should be treated like that. That street, the amount of history that is on that street, no one can hold a stick to that street, how important that street is, the amount of people that live there, the amount of people that raise families there. Maybe it's not as fancy as up in the Orchard, but people love that street. I don't have much to say. They already basically said it. I don't want to get angry. I'm a passionate person. I love this town. Born, raised, lived here. Unfortunately, I can't afford a house in this town. That's a whole nother story. Because we have everyone coming from everywhere, buying up all these beautiful houses, knocking them down, and building little Mickey Mouse mansions. And here I am. I've been working hard my whole life. I still am afraid to buy a house in this town. I'm afraid. I don't want to go to Dover. I don't want to go to Newton. I don't want to go all the way out there. I don't want to go that far. I want to stay where the people I love and grew up with. But it's just hard. Like I said, that's another conversation. But I don't want the sewage to be the reason why I have to leave and move to another town. I know everybody in this town. I know you too, Mr. Connolly. I know everybody. And I don't want to be pushed away. And I don't want this sewage issue to be another reason why I move away from this town. I work here. I work in Floyd Park. I don't know. I hope there's something you guys can do. I really do. I think there should be a lot more people here because I really believe the whole street is having issues. People are embarrassed. They don't want to tell you there's sewage in their basement. I'm afraid when it rains to even go to bed. All right. That's all I can say. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to comment, please step forward. Seeing none, I close this part of the meeting, and let me just give some feedback, and I'll have administration also support. Rich, who started off, did a very good job of explaining that for most of Madison, and first I want to thank you all for coming out and appreciate the frustration and understand what you're going through and anxiety you have to deal with. So we take this very seriously. But just to give a little more background for those that maybe audience or watching at home to understand different parts of town. For the most part, the sewer system in Madison just relies on gravity. That it flows from the higher points to the treatment plant in Chatham. But there are neighborhoods that are below that level, and we have to rely on pump stations to lift the sewage up to the level where then it flows by gravity. There are towns, primarily in Hudson County, where they actually have combined systems, which means the stormwater and sanitary sewer are mixed together. And what happens when it gets overwhelmed, because that means both storm and sanitary end up at the sewer treatment plant. And when you have these catastrophic storms, it just overwhelms and flows into the river untreated. What's happening here is we have 2 separate systems. We have a storm and sanitary. And ideally, the sanitary is nothing but sanitary. But it's very clear when you have issues like this during storms, there's what's called I&I, infiltration, which means the water table's coming up and it leaks into the lines. That's not the problem. There's the inflow that overwhelms the system. It overwhelms the pump station, and if it can't move out, water is going to find, everyone knows, the plumbers spoke, everyone knows that water will find a path, and that's what happens here. As I said, ideally, it's only sanitary. And we need to find out why and what is causing the storm water to end up in the system at such levels. It could be, as Rich mentioned, it could be illegally hooked up sump pumps. for all those at home, a sump pump must be hooked up to storm. It could be going out to the gutter, but it's not going into a sink or sanitary line. That means it gets treated as sewage, and in the worst cases, it causes backups. So that's one thing. There could be other reasons why there's this inflow, so we'll have to look at it. So we'll ask administration to come up with a plan as to what, number one is, why are we overwhelmed at this pump station in particular? This is not the only pump station in town. We had that question on the clarification on the lines of the two lines, so we'll get an answer on that. If you're correct on that, you know more. I've learned something new, so we will check and see, exactly how it is. Are those lines, obviously, those lines are designed to handle the sanitary, but they're not able to handle the combined that's coming in. But if we can get rid of the combined, it would be better. From what you understand, there was an issue with the generator that day for one of the storms. So if we can figure out what went there, so we'll get the answers out there. We'll get some of these short-term answers that'll help you, and obviously what you're looking for, what I would call, and has already been quoted, a good night's sleep. When the rain's coming down, you're able to sleep at night. And we'll try to figure out a way to give you that peace of mind. So we'll find out what is going on.
Also, the borough does have insurance coverage for these type of claims, but in order to pursue that, you have to file what's called a notice of claim within 90 days. So if this incident was on August 18th, you have until approximately November 18th. That form's available on the website. It's also available through Ms. Osborne's office, the clerk's office on the ground floor. So I'd encourage anybody who sustained a loss to put your bills together. You don't need a lawyer. It's a very simple form. We'll submit it to our carrier, and hopefully they'll entertain it, as obviously sounds like it was a pre-existing condition you've experienced more than once, and we'll try to reimburse you for those damages to your property. But I know that's not enough. You want to sleep, so I hear what the mayor's saying too. We'll work on that as well. But in the meantime, please file those forms with the clerk so we can hopefully process you some reimbursement.
And we'll try to get the short-term and long-term answers, and we'll pull people together. Joe, we really can't.
Yes.
Yeah. So for August, you're still good.
Notice, I'm sorry. It's called the notice of claim. It's like a 6-page document, single-spaced, very simple to fill out, and Jim's probably going to go get. We'll have a supply here on the way out so that you can just take them with you tonight and just fill them out by hand. You don't need to type them. You don't need an attorney. If you take it home tonight, you bring it back. Just bring it back before the 90 days. That's a very strict deadline the state imposes. Then we can't do anything. So please return them before the 90 days. Thank you.
And you can do it's on our website again. So
it's also on our website.
So if you go to rosenet.org and probably put in the search notice of claim, you should be able to find it. So thank you again for coming out and sharing your concern. We take it very seriously, and we'll get the answers to you. Thank you. We now move on to introduction ordinances, which are none. So we go on to consent agenda resolutions.
Consent agenda resolutions will be enacted with a single motion. Any resolution requiring expenditure is supported by a certification of availability of funds. Any resolution requiring discussion will be removed from the consent agenda. All resolutions will be reflected in full in the minutes.
Mayor, I move consent agenda items, resolutions R263-2024 through R276-2024.
We'll pull 272 just to do separately so we can provide some background on that. So consent will be 263 through
269.
275.
Oh, sorry.
273 to 275.
271, yes.
Right. Yep.
Sorry.
I'll second it.
All right. Any others that need to be pulled? Okay. Any other discussion on those that are not included, not the early one?
Yeah, Mayor, one thing, just on 268, I'd like to extend my congratulations to Ken O'Brien upon his retirement and thank him for his service to the borough.
Thank you very much.
So I would second that, John. Good suggestion. Thank you very much. Resolution 266, 2024. So the event is called Cars and Coffee Showcase. It's a Sunday Motors event.
Yes.
Do they have to be mentioned as the sponsor of the event? Am I misreading it? Maybe I'm misreading it.
It's actually a BMW event that's
Oh.
being hosted at Sunday Motors.
A BMW event. Got it. So they're closing down Kings Road for the day, or for a period of time.
A portion of the day, but we'll have 4 uniform officers there to control.
It's reviewed by the police.
The police have signed off on it and required 4 uniform officers paid by Sunday Motors and BMW to monitor the attendance, the traffic, the cars, the parking, all the traffic.
Sure. I'm sure it'll be a lot of fun. Great.
Comments on those? Okay, roll call vote, please.
Ms. Ehrlich?
Yes.
Mr. Landrigan?
Yes.
Mr. Harlan Pudis?
Yes, but I'm going to abstain from voting on Resolution 264, 2024.
Mr. Forte?
And actually, 267.
267 also, Mayor. I will abstain from Resolution 267. Okay, that's fine. I'll abstain from that.
And Mr. Forte?
Yes.
All right, may a motion for Resolution 272.
Mayor, I move Resolution 272-2024.
Second.
Some background, Jim just left the room, so yep, thank you. Background on the grandstand and press box.
Okay. This is a proposal by the Madison Little League, who has received an anonymous donation. Well, it's not anonymous to them, but anonymous to us. A substantial donation to make improvements to the Sonny Vital Field at Memorial Park on Rosedale Avenue. And the proposed improvements would consist of a new backstop that would be state-of-the-art, that would be flanked by ADA accessible bleachers for adequate seating for the first time in a long time. That would be sandwiched between a press box and there would also be a batting cage established on one of the sidelines. And the resolution that's provided here would be that any current use of the facility would not change. So whatever events that they use their PA system and the hours that they currently operate would be maintained. So even though they have these improvements, hopefully the impact on the neighborhood will be the same that it is now. But it will be a substantial improvement at no cost to the taxpayers, and we're very thankful to the donor. And there's also a private vendor contractor who has children in the program who's donating his the labor and supervision of the project. So it's a total privately funded initiative by the Madison Little League, and we're supportive of it.
And as mentioned, a couple of key things. Again, the ADA compliance to make it barrier-free for those that want to watch the games. Will be added safety for screening for foul balls, which I know with Boston Dodge Field can be a worrisome thing. And this is the primary field for up to majors level, I'm not sure. So, and the use will be consistent with as it is today. It'll just be more appropriate for what happens. And while we're talking about that field, and Joe Paolo is here, I want to, it's been a while since what was it, last year you painted the dugouts, but thank you for donating that work to the Little League. Yeah. Yes, Rachel.
Can you clarify that there won't be any new outdoor lighting added as part of this?
It's not proposed in the resolution or the plan, and it specifically says that the borough will control the use and activity as we do at all other events. So there's no plan for lighting at that location.
Okay, thank you.
And any, as we know, lighting on any field would be a much further discussion.
Yep. Just wanted to.
Yep. Make sure that's in the record. So thank you. Any other comment, Tom?
Yeah, I just want to comment, Mayor, and thank all the volunteers who've gotten behind this. They were very thorough in their planning. There's volunteers in the youth baseball group that are from different industries who are also helping out. It's a lot of time. It's been donated to plan it, and they also are very conscious of doing it appropriately to the borough's consideration. So I think it's going to be a good project, a fantastic project at the end of the day. And I know that Jim's got very involved in it too. Fortunately for us. Thanks, Jim.
Yes, Rachel.
I was going to say the same thing. I just wanted to add, to thank Jim Burnett for stepping up and marshaling all of the parties that needed to be engaged to move this ahead quickly. Jim, you went above and beyond to get this going. Thank you for that.
Marshall Jim.
Any other comments? Roll call vote on Resolution 272.
Ms. Ehrlich?
Yes.
Mr. Landrigan?
Yes.
Mr. Harlan Pudis?
Yes.
Mr. Forte?
Yes.
There is no unfinished business. Approval of the vouchers. Will the clerk please read the voucher total?
Yes, from the current fund, $4,272,671.30. From the general capital fund, $59,969.98. From the electric operating fund, $558,439.47. And from the electric capital fund, $440.64. From the water operating fund, $56,011.95. From the water capital fund, $42,902.50. And from the trust, $31,554.41. The total is $5,021,990.25.
Mayor, I move approval of the vouchers.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Ms. Ehrlich?
Yes.
Mr. Landrigan?
Yes.
Mr. Harlan Pudis?
Yes.
Mr. Forte?
Yes.
There is no new business.
Mayor, I move to adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you all.